Hello everybody, welcome back to the channel. I want to give a big hello to all the new subs. And this video here is just going to be kind of a hodgepodge video, stuff I've done before. I've got a little 15 in here that I can't even really remember where I got the thing from. But anyway, it's one I picked up, been meaning to get to. It's a 1990, but I'm mainly making this video to show you something that I basically parted out, and what a waste. That's all I can say. You'll see it in the video, but first you're gonna see the 99 I'm working on and the kind of shape it was in and so forth. And I won't finish it in this video, but I'll show you some of the stuff I'm doing. But I want you to see this one particular engine that I had to part out. It's one of those that's just shameful. Outboard abuse on its highest level. So let me get set up here, and I'll get this video rolling and let you see what we got. Be right back. Okay, ain't she a beauty? Ooh. This must have been one of those Friday paint jobs. Oh, ain't that nice. But it's got its zinc. It's got its zinc. Yummy. Ain't she a beaut? Short shaft, unmolested. Guy said he was cleaning out his shed, found it. Want to know if I want to buy it. I asked him how much. He said this much. I said no, not that much. I said this much. He said, man, it ought to be worth leasing. That much? I said, no, it's worth this much. So we had to make us an agreement, and that's what we did. So let me see what we got here. We got us is that right? This appears to be a 1990 model. Yeah. Yep, it's a 1990. At least yeah, 1990. Oh yeah. So the first thing I want to do is a compression check on it before I even decide that I'm going to do anything else. Now you would think you could find some semblance of some zinc etching primer. Oh boy. But there, for what I paid for the motor, the tiller handle set up right there, which does work. The cable works. It moves the bell crank and all. The parts alone would be 3 to 4 times what I paid for the little puppy. But the first thing I'm going to do before I even try and turn it over with any force or anything is I'm going to pop that lower unit off of there. Then I can spin it over and get some compression numbers. So let me pop that lower unit off. Ain't gonna bother with boring you with that. These bolts, 3 on each side, that drops the lower unit down when you shift it in forward, I believe it is. And then there's a 3/8 inch coupler with 2 3/8 inch bolts, and you just take one out and hopefully the lower unit pops right off. So let me get to trying that on this beauty. Be right back. Alright, here's this operation here. Took 1 2 3 on the other side, 1 2 3, shifted into forward gear. That makes her drop down, and then right in there, let me turn on my light. Right in there, hopefully you can see it as a 3/8 inch coupler bolt. Take that out and she should drop all the way the rest of the way out. So that's the gist of these. This is a short shaft. If this was a long shaft, there would be 12 bolts to take off because of the middle section here instead of 6. And then the procedure's the same. Undo the coupler nut, shift it into forward, pull the lower unit. That's all there is to it. So. Alrighty. I got a spark spider hooked up. Everything's away from any metal. I put my compression gauge, which is on 0. Got a 1/2 inch Milwaukee. Okay, you should be able to watch right here and see if we got spark or not, and then I'll raise up the gauge. Let's go. Alright, we got spark on both. And hopefully you can see that. We're looking at 120. That's top cylinder. Let's look at the bottom cylinder. Okay. Getting it in there slowly. Alright there. Alright. Whoops. Alright, she's on 0. Let's see what we get on the bottom. got probably about 122. So 120, 122. That's a good power head. Now, there are many things that could go wrong yet. But, it's got spark. It's got good compression. But we know that because of the shape of this motor, the saltiness, we know what them grommets under that power head are going to look like. So now that I know that the power head is good, and like I said, there could still be issues with it. If the exhaust bypass port gasket isn't any good, it could be leaky, and so once it starts, it could foul out one of the plugs. One good thing that I saw right off the bat, when I pulled these spark plugs out, they were nice and oily. Little bit of tan on the insulator there. Right in there, a little tannish colored and stuff, but they were nice and oily, black, sooty. And that's a good sign when you've had one that's been sitting like this for a long time. So, alright, so I went ahead and pulled the power head on this very salty 15, and this is some of the typical damage I'll find on one of these when I pull them. It's quite common on these ones that have the plastic top on the carburetor. There you go, and there you go. You can see the top's broke, so we'll replace that. Also, here's the infamous on the mag plate, your wide open butterfly throttle adjustment, something another. That little deal right there. Almost always broken. Goes right there. As the mag plate comes around, it operates the roller cam. And this is to adjust your butterfly wide open throttle kind of deal so it sets level and such. They're always broken. And then, of course, the main reason to pull the power head on one of these old salty ones is to get at the grommets. And there they are. And you can see very little, probably hardly any at all, water was getting through that grommet there. The exhaust one, even though it don't look too collapsed, it's still full of salt and everything. But you can see the upper one right there is collapsed and virtually no water getting through that thing. So even if the power head runs good, which I believe it will, she's salty. But you've got to pull that off and do them grommets, or else the thing won't cool itself when they've been sitting for any length of time, which this one has. And there's what's left of the pan, so that'll all have to be washed thoroughly. Good hot soap water, purple power, scraping, a little wire brushing, and then I'll get some semblance of paint. There's the lower unit that came out, came off just fine. And so everything's got to be washed, cleaned, grommets changed, and we'll continue on. Be right back. Okay, we got them all purple powered and scrubbed. Now it's time to get the salt out. Get the salt out, baby. Use the salt. Use the salty. All right. Oh, purple power. Oh man. Let me think. Let's see. If you want to see something of shame, you see that 250 E-tec? And that's a Yamaha 250 4-stroker. When this engine, this E-tec 250, it's a 2006, came off the boat it was on, there was nothing wrong with it at all. It was a perfectly good running engine. The guy that owned it has more money than God. We don't have an E-tec dealer in town, and he wanted twins. He took it off, threw it on the ground. 2 months later, told a friend of mine about it. And it sat up at that friend's place for 2 years. And that's what's left. But I did manage to salvage the tilt trim unit. The lower unit, that's a perfect lower unit. I mean, even a 4-blade prop with nothing wrong with it. There's the tilt trim. I don't know if you can see it right on top of that garbage can there. The 4-stroke was a blown up head issue deal. But I took about everything I want off of them, all those injectors and everything. Big money. Going to the scrap heap. Kind of sad. Especially the E-tec situation. Yeah, is what it is. Scrap man be happy to see me. All right. Okay, so I'm back. I just wanted to show you that E-tec. Luckily, I saved a lot of stuff on that engine. The lower unit in and of itself is worth quite a bit of money. The starter, the brain box, the coils, on and on. But what a waste. I mean, it's my understanding when the engine came off, it ran perfectly fine. So that's a waste. But that's going to be a kind of a wrap on this video. It's just kind of a hodgepodge, but I did want to show you. I'm coming along on the little 1990 15. It's looking pretty good. I got most of that shale and scale and crapiola off of the off of the lower cowl pan, the midsection. I've got the lower unit outside in my Connex drying with a coat of primer on it. This one I had to get the shale off. I'm going to do a little more wire wheeling and sanding on it. But it's coming along looking pretty good. It's not all pitted up or anything. Looking pretty good. And I'll get a coat of primer and some paint on that. I'm actually going to probably, being that the paint's mostly gone on this, it's what I call a Friday engine. Because there is no sign of primer under that paint anywhere. So, but I'll get a coat of primer on it, and I'm thinking about painting it with that metallic charcoal. I like that paint. It goes on good, covers well, and it looks pretty good to me. And there's the power head. As you can see, she's all cleaned up. New grommets in them pickup and discharge tubes. So she's about ready to go back on. All I got to do is get everything all cleaned up so it has something back to go on too. So there's them two. They're looking pretty good. So that's going to be a wrap on this one. So just wanted to show you that E-tec mostly. What a waste. So getting along on the 1990 15, and she ought to look pretty good when I get her done. And thanks for watching.